I'm RJ Weiss. I'm a certified financial planner and founder of the Ways to Wealth. Today, we're going to take a closer look at iTrustCapital, specifically how its crypto IRA platform works. For this review, I'm focusing just on the crypto side of iTrustCapital, so how you can buy, sell, and hold digital assets inside of a tax advantage IRA, as well as how their premium custody account works for non-IRA investing. I'm not here to forecast crypto prices. I'm not here to recommend allocations. Instead, we'll focus on the parts that matter for financial planning, such as how the account is structured, the fees you'll pay, what cryptocurrencies are available, and the key trade-offs compared to other platforms and alternatives. Let's jump in. So first things first, what exactly is a crypto IRA? And you'll often hear this term, and it's really just a marketing term. There's no special crypto IRA right now category in the tax code. So what platforms like iTrustCapital actually offer is a self-directed IRA, also known as an SDIRA. So this is a type of retirement account that gives you more flexibility than what you might have in, say, a traditional brokerage account. That's because under IRS rules, self-directed IRAs can hold almost just about any investment, as long as it's not one of the few prohibited categories, such as life insurance or art or certain collectibles. So when you open an account with iTrustCapital, what you're really doing is using that self-directed IRA structure to own cryptocurrency directly. Not through a fund, not through an ETF or trust that backs crypto prices, but holding the actual digital assets themselves inside of a tax advantage account. So this distinction is really important here because it affects how your crypto is stored, how transactions are executed, and how the IRS views gains and losses inside of your IRA. So how does this actually work in practice? When you open an account with iTrustCapital, you're setting up a self-directed IRA that's administered by a qualified custodian. Under Section 408 of the Investment Advisors Act of 1940, the SEC defines a qualified custodian as a bank or a trust company that safely holds client assets and manages account reporting. iTrustCapital itself is a software platform, not a custodian. So from there, you can then fund your iTrustCapital account just like any other IRA. So you can transfer in existing IRAs. You can roll over an existing 401k, 403b, 457b from a previous employer, or you can make new annual cash contributions within the IRS limit. So one important note here, the IRS does not allow you to transfer existing crypto that you hold outside of an IRA into an IRA. So you're going to have to sell that crypto first, contribute cash to an IRA, which is going to have potentially tax consequences. So in practice, what this means is funding a crypto IRA typically means funding it with cash, either as a new contribution or rollover from existing 401k that you have. The exemption here is if you already have a crypto IRA with another provider, you can transfer those assets in kind to iTrustCapital. So once your account is funded, then you can simply just log in iTrustCapital and start buying and selling inside of the account. If you ever used a platform like Coinbase, like Robinhood, the experience will feel really similar. Essentially, what you can do is buy or sell crypto in just a few clicks. The key difference, though, is that you're not managing a private wallet or private keys. Instead, iTrustCapital leverages regulated bank and trust partners and institutional crypto storage providers to secure the assets. All iTrustCapital client assets are held for the benefit of the clients on a one-to-one off-balance sheet. And from there, every transaction happens inside your tax advantage account, which follows similar rules to a IRA inside of a traditional brokerage account. So now that we covered how the account works in practice, let's look at more like the practical details of the account. So what does it cost? What can you invest in? So here are the basics. There are no setup fees, no monthly maintenance fees with iTrustCapital. There's a 1% transaction fee every time you buy or sell crypto on the platform. You can open a Roth, traditional, or SEP IRA, and the minimum to open an account is $1,000 or more. Additional contributions is $500. iTrustCapital currently supports more than 85 different cryptocurrencies, with new currencies being added pretty frequently. So this covers nearly all the large cap assets and most of the mid cap assets. The platform charges a 1% fee on each transaction. So that pricing is pretty competitive in the industry, especially when competitors lay on the existing monthly fees on top of a 1% fee. But keep in mind with crypto, there's also the bid-ask spread of the transaction. So that's the small difference between the price you pay when buying and the price you receive when selling. On major coins, spreads are usually very tight because liquidity is high. On smaller or less traded coins, spreads can widen, effectively increasing your total cost. So some competitors bundle these together and say there's a 2% total transaction fee per charge. So keep that in mind when you're comparing different platforms. iTrustCapital then has the 1% flat fee and then the bid-ask spread they add on top of that. So from a planning standpoint, this usually matters if you're just trading very frequently. For long-term buy and hold investors and those making occasional reallocations inside of their crypto IRA, the overall cost is pretty minimal here. So one of iTrustCapital's newer features is staking. So this came about in October 2025. So you can stake now Ethereum and Solana on the platform. How it works is you buy or sell ETH or SOL through the platform. You stake it with one click. iTrustCapital utilizes a third-party staking infrastructure provider as well as institutional storage provider for the staking program. So rewards are then paid automatically into your IRA balance. So IRA then charges a 22% service fee for staking, which is deducted directly from your rewards. So staking inside of an IRA has one major advantage because the rewards grow tax deferred inside of a traditional IRA or potentially tax-free with the Roth IRA. It's also important to know here that staking can involve more risk because you're dealing with lockup periods and additional network level risks. You typically can't sell staked assets instantly, and yields can fluctuate overall depending on the market. But when you look at other providers, this is a pretty new feature that not a lot have. Bitcoin IRA is one that does as well, but their fees are significantly higher than iTrustCapital. So one more thing about iTrustCapital, they have what's called a premium custody account or a PCA. So this is separate from an IRA and it's a regular taxable account with a big difference. And that big difference comes with enhanced security. So the PCA runs on what's known as a closed loop system, meaning you can deposit crypto or cash into this account, but you can only withdraw USD back to your bank account that you deposited with. So you or any hackers can't sell crypto off platform or to another wallet, which helps mitigate a lot of risk. So like the IRA, there is a 1% transaction fee and $1,000 minimum to get started with this account. Assets are secured with third-party US-based custodians. Third-party institutional providers covers the companies that store and hold the crypto via Coinbase custody and Fireblocks. Let's talk about where iTrustCapital ranks among competitors. So where they stand out is its low fees, no monthly fees, and its staking capability. It's one of the few providers with no setup fees, no monthly fees, while still offering institutional grade security. It also allows for staking, currently Solana and Ethereum, and this is something few competitors allow. Other options are like Rocket Dollar, and what Rocket Dollar does is give you checkbook control, where essentially what you're doing here is managing and controlling an LLC that holds the assets. So this model gives you essentially complete flexibility and freedom to trade on-chain or use hardware wallets, but also it adds a lot of complexity, a lot of costs. We're talking about potentially thousands of dollars a year in fees, and of course there's greater compliance risk. Other platforms like Alto and Fidelity are good options as well, but they can come with some trade-offs. Alto does connect to Coinbase, which gives you a lot more coins to potentially trade, but they don't offer staking currently. Fidelity is a solid option as well right now, but you can only trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin with Fidelity right now. So just 3 assets. So for most buy and hold long-term investors who want straightforward crypto exposure inside of a tax-advantaged account, iTrustCapital does have that right balance of simplicity, security, and low ongoing costs. Of course, you can also get crypto exposure through an ETF, and the good news there is the fees have been coming down, but also keep in mind how these fees work. If a crypto IRA say charges 0.2% or 20 basis points, that fee charges to your entire account balance every single year. So over time, if you're a true buy and hold investor, that fee can really add up over time because it compounds on the entire account each and every year. So with iTrustCapital, you're just paying that one-time upfront annual cost. And then if you continue to buy into the account, there's that additional transaction fee. That said, ETFs do have some clear advantages. They're simple, they're flexible, they can be held in your current brokerage account, so there's no new account needed. But the trade-off is you don't actually hold the crypto, just shares of a fund that track it. So it really comes down to priorities here. You get the convenience and the regulations with the ETFs or direct ownership through a crypto IRA. So to sum things up, crypto IRAs are not for everyone. They're best suited for retired investors who already have a long-term plan in place, meaning you consistently contribute to a diversified portfolio of traditional assets such as stocks and bonds, and are simply looking to add a small crypto allocation for diversification. At the end of the day, crypto is highly volatile, and it's not something that should really make up a large percentage of your retirement savings. But if you believe in the long-term potential of Bitcoin or other digital assets and want to hold them in a tax-advantaged way, iTrustCapital is one of the strongest options out there right now. Personally, I do hold a little bit of a crypto allocation myself. It's single digits, it's not much, but it does align with my overall risk tolerance and my long-term goals. So it's not like a recommendation, but just an example of how I approach diversification. I actually moved funds to iTrustCapital not that long ago after evaluating all the providers out there. The transfer process took about 13 days. My funds were out of the market for say around 24 to 48 hours. And the whole time I felt like I had clear communication and next steps from their US-based customer service. Bottom line, mind right now, iTrustCapital is one of the better providers in the crypto IRA space. Its low fees, staking capability, and transparent structure make it a solid long-term choice for buy and hold investors. If you'd like to learn more, I wrote a detailed review below. I'll link to it there. It covers even more details and comparisons of iTrustCapital. As always, do your research here. Make sure crypto IRA makes sense for you and your long-term goal and fits within your broader retirement plan. Investing in crypto is not a shortcut to successful retirement. Thanks for watching. If you find this helpful, like and subscribe for more financial insights from the Weiss to Wealth.